Have you ever stared at a name in an email header and felt the floor of your world vanish beneath you? It was 2:17 a.m. The only light in our Chicago brownstone was the cold blue glow of my wife Sarah's laptop screen, a device she'd started guarding like a state secret. My heart was a frantic drum against my ribs. I'd found it by accident, a browser that hadn't been closed, a password manager that had autofilled, a secret email account. Inbox was a graveyard of our marriage, and I was digging through the bones. The subject line that stopped my breath was simple. Tonight, the email itself was just one sentence from a man named Mark. You are a goddess. Sar. He doesn't deserve to breathe the same air as you. That single line was the spark, and my life was the gasoline. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The betrayal didn't start with a bang, but with 1,000 tiny paper cuts. It was the way Sarah would angle her phone away from me on the couch, the sudden late nights at the office from her marketing job downtown, a job she used to complain about constantly. It was the scent of a cologne that wasn't mine clinging to her coat. A scent I once smelled on a colleague of hers, Mark, at a holiday party. He was a smug, self-satisfied guy with a trust fund and a predatory smile. I'd dismissed it then. We were happy, weren't we? But now, sitting in the dark with this digital Pandora's box open, every lie, every excuse, clicked into place like tumblers in a lock. The humiliation was a physical thing, a hot sickness that rose in my throat. I thought of our friends, our family, the life we'd built in Lincoln Park. It was all a stage, and I was the only one who didn't know my part was that of the fool. She became a stranger in our home. The woman I'd loved, who'd laugh until she cried at my stupid jokes, was replaced by a cold, manipulative phantom. When I'd gently question a late-night receipt from a bar on Rush Street, her eyes would narrow. Are you checking up on me? God, you're so insecure. She'd spit, turning my concern into a weapon against me. They felt untouchable, her and Mark. I saw them once, across the street from my office. They were laughing, heads close together, sharing a coffee on a park bench. Sarah's hand was on his arm. The casual intimacy of it was a punch to the gut. They looked so carefree, so entitled. They were living their best life on the ruins of mine. That night, I broke. I locked myself in the bathroom, turned on the shower to muffle the sound, and just shattered. The sobs were silent, violent things that shook my entire body. In that moment, something inside me died. The loyal, loving husband was gone, and in his place, something cold and hard began to form. The tears stopped. My mind, for the first time in months, went quiet and sharp. Grief had burned away, leaving behind a single diamond-hard purpose: revenge. Not petty revenge. I wanted to dismantle their world, just as they had dismantled mine. I started gathering proof with a chilling detachment. I used a simple recovery software on her old phone, the one she'd tossed in a drawer. Texts, hundreds of them, filled with sickening pet names and plans for their trysts at the Peninsula Hotel. I printed every single one. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who documented their lunch dates that turned into afternoon check-ins. He got photos. Photos of them kissing in a parking garage. Photos of them walking into the hotel, hand in hand. The PI's final report landed on my desk with a heavy thud. It was a meticulous timeline of their affair, cross-referenced with Sarah's credit card statements, the expensive dinners, the jewelry from a store I'd never heard of, the hotel rooms. The legal trap was next. I met with the best divorce attorney in Chicago. We structured the petition to be filed at the precise moment of maximum impact. Sarah had recently been nominated for a major philanthropic award through her family's foundation, an organization built on the image of pristine family values. Her father, a man who valued public perception above all else, was the chairman. The social trap was the final piece. I compiled a small, elegant package. Inside was a single data stick containing the emails, texts, the high-resolution photos, and a summary of the hotel charges. I made 12 copies. The night of the Foundation's annual gala was the chosen date. It was their biggest event of the year, held at the Art Institute of Chicago. Sarah was radiant in a gown that cost more than my car, the picture of grace and charity. She was set to receive her award on stage. Her father was beaming. Mark was there too, a guest at her family's table looking smug. As the presenter began his glowing introduction of Sarah, a series of quiet, coordinated deliveries were being made. One package went to her father's office, one to the board of directors, one to Mark's wife, one to a prominent local gossip columnist who owed my lawyer a favor. I sat at our table, sipping my water, my heart beating a slow, steady rhythm. I watched as Sarah's father's phone buzzed, then the phone of the woman next to him. Quiet, horrified ripples spread through the table. Her father's face went from pride to a mask of pure fury as he stared at his screen. Stood up, his chair scraping loudly on the marble floor, and walked directly to Sarah, who was just about to step on stage. He grabbed her arm, his voice a low, vicious hiss that I could read on his lips, even from a distance. The award presenter faltered, confused. The room fell into a stunned silence. Sarah's face, projected onto the giant screens, crumbled from a perfect smile into a mask of pure, unadulterated panic. She was ruined, publicly, professionally, and personally. The columnist's story went live before the gala even ended. Mark was fired the next day. His wife filed for divorce. Sarah's family disowned her. The legal proceedings were a formality. She got nothing. I sold the brownstone. I never saw her again, but I heard she moved to a small town somewhere in the Midwest, working a menial job, a ghost of the goddess she once was in another man's email. Sometimes, late at night when the city is quiet, I pull out that final, chilling photograph from the pie. It's not of her and Mark. It's a picture of her, alone, sitting on a bench after it was all over, her face in her hands. No beauty, just a hollow, empty shell, and I feel absolutely nothing at all. The end.